All right. Hello, welcome. I'm Amanda, and I am in the loft at Battleground Games and Hobbies in Abington, Massachusetts. This is the Abington location. We do have two other stores. The Abington store has a loft, though, which is nice and set aside where I can stream and paint. And I'm going to be mostly working on the Dark Crystal figures, which I've already finished two of them. I finished.
Make our new follower?
Ooh, yeah, sure.
Lucas
VCN. Yeah, welcome. So here's Jen. I do want to do a little bit of highlighting in his hair, but he is mostly done. And here's Kira, carrying Fizzgig. She's a little blown out there. The white balance on our camera does tend to freak out. As you can see on my mat, this lovely stain that wasn't there last time I streamed. I had a little mishap. I overturned a pot of chestnut ink on myself, mostly. Like, a fair amount is on that, but a large amount went onto my jeans, which are mostly clean. I can tell that there is chestnut ink on them, but if you didn't know, you'd probably be okay. But yeah, the stream last time ended very precipitously. I don't normally stream on a Tuesday. Normally I am at work right now. Normally I'm 40 minutes into my workday right now, but I'm on vacation because PAX East is coming up at the end of this week. We start building the booth for the store tomorrow, so I'm on vacation today to relax, get some cleaning done around my house, so my mother isn't horrified when she comes over to feed the cat. Here's the Garthim Master, Skekung, because they have names. So I'm going to work on him, and I'm going to work on the Chamberlain, Skeksil. So I've based both of them, but I haven't done any detail work because, and this is where the chestnut ink comes in, I told a friend, hey, thanks, Andy. I told a friend I would do his Santorini figures, so I was finishing up last week painting the Santorini figures. And I did finish, but what I was doing last week at the end of the stream, and it would have been close to the end of the stream anyway, but this made it end fast, was I was putting, a wash on the edge here, and you can see all around the edge there's this textured bit here. And I had a feeling if I used like an ink or a wash, I would get some really nice definition to it. And I did. Unfortunately, after doing the first like 3.5, I lifted my brush out of the pot and just caught it with my brush, and over it went, and half the pot just ended up in my lap, and a little bit on here. I did manage to get some warm, wet water on myself very fast to keep it from drying out too fast. Dish soap and a toothbrush. Denim is probably the best fabric I could have done it to if I was going to do it to fabric, because denim is pretty sturdy. And this is like denim. It isn't even like stretch denim, it's just denim. And that's pretty sturdy stuff. It's made to withstand a lot of abuse, so toothbrush didn't do it any harm, and it did get out a lot of the dried acrylic paint, because it's an acrylic ink. An acrylic is a plastic, so super. Anyway, there's one last thing I want to do with the Santorini minis, and then we'll do the Dark Crystal minis. The last thing I want to do with the Santorini minis is actually very, very simple. What I want to be doing with them, as you can see, as I've been painting them, I've got lots of sort of paint swipes along the base, which, I mean, probably no one cares about but me. But I care. I care a lot. So what I'm going to do is actually take the color that I used for each of the togas, the toga and the chitin that they're wearing, and I'm just going to very carefully go over the bottom, because right now the bottoms are the plastic color that they started out as, this sort of off-white. You can't really tell. It's just sort of a vaguely creamy white. This horrible silly putty beige that I despise, so I was really happy to be able to get a chance to cover that up. And this baby blue. And then for the golden fleece, it was this lemon yellow. But I'm going to be doing the white in yellow, so the yellow is actually going to get gold. It's going to get some nice gold underneath. So that's the plan. So I'm going to do those really fast. Those shouldn't take long. That should be a fairly quick work. These have been varnished up top, but now what I can do is turn them on their side and varnish the bottoms and get them all sealed. So we're just going to get me a little bit of this baby blue. This is the MSP, the Master Paint Series from Reaper. I'm using sky blue for that, which actually it was exactly what I wanted it to be when I did their togas. It was 100% what I wanted it to be. I just want to cover up the sort of messiness of it, because that always happens on the bases of figures, is you end up with this mess. And these haven't, like the bases, I didn't bother priming or anything because I wanted to keep track of what colors I was doing on what figures. Because I did want to have the figures, like the colors, at least sort of correspond. But I don't need this to be super opaque or anything. I just want it to be a little neater. I am pretty proud of myself that I've been painting for maybe like 2 years at this point. Not like, I don't paint like every day. I've been painting a lot more regularly. I've been painting like every week. I wanted to keep track of things, but I've been painting for like 2 years now, off and on, and the fact that I had not had a major paint spill until last week is pretty cool, honestly. This is why I like eyedropper bottles. I could tip an eyedropper bottle over and have very little spillage. A paint pot, on the other hand, you tip one of those over and you have exactly what happened, big blotch, and it gets everywhere. I mean, I prefer eyedropper bottles for a lot of reasons, but that's definitely one of the reasons. Spillage from an eyedropper bottle is not, you can blop it out a lot. Like I have certainly had great big bloops of paint that I did not intend to have that much come out of the bottle. But even then, I haven't ended up with it like all over my lap. Whereas, and I've like unjammed, like unlocked a blocked bottle's like spout and had it just well up and all over the bottle. And you can sort of tell that happened. That must have happened to Derek at some point on this bottle, because you can see it's like the label is covered in yellow paint. So at some point that did happen to Derek. These are his. But even then, like that's a very minor sort of paint mishap, as paint mishaps go, as opposed to my my spectacular failure. There's the blue done. It just looks cleaner. It makes me feel, especially since these aren't mine. I mean, I'm going to be doing that on the basis here. You can see, like, these are raw. I will be finishing those off. I will go back and finish that because they're mine. But I'm not as, like, pressed to do it, whereas these are for someone else. These are for a friend. And I'm not charging him for it because, one, it's really the first time I've done something for someone else, and I didn't want to, like, charge him money for something that I volunteered to do. He didn't even specifically ask me. He mentioned it, but I don't think he actually expected me to be like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do that. But at the same time, it is for someone else. This is for another person. This isn't for me. And I don't want to give someone unfinished work. And it feels like if it's, if the bases are all ugly, I feel like I'm giving someone an unfinished piece. I want to feel like if I'm giving someone something, especially if I've done it, it's like a present. I mean, if someone was paying me, I certainly would give them finished work, but I don't know. This is the first time I've done someone else's figures. And doing it for someone else is definitely different than doing painting for yourself. When I paint for myself, I mean the decisions I'm making are the decisions that I want on my figures. So I can be like, this is what I want to play with, and I'm okay with it looking like this, or I'm okay with it having this detail or that detail. These aren't mine. So I need to, you gotta think about, what does Steve want? What would he want on his figures? What sorts of choices should I make? This is also going to make it that much more obvious. I mean, it should be fairly obvious looking at them that they're different colors. But just in case people are looking at like the two sets of brown hair or something. This is yet another one of my cheapo Michaels brushes. What's funny is I think I bought these for work. Just so that I would have a set of paintbrushes in case I needed them. I'm not loving where I have this camera set up, to be honest. I'm casting a shadow on my own stuff because of where I'm sitting and where the camera and the light are. So we don't have like our lighting rig up for this. We just have the overhead fluorescents. That's cool. I do like the colors, how the colors came out. I did a bunch of swatches and like paint tests to try and get it right. Science is so much I'd rearrange. So PAX East is this week. Like a bunch of people from the store are at the convention center right now, unloading the truck and starting to like build the infrastructure of the booth. And I don't want to like exaggerate, because when I say like infrastructure, I don't want people thinking we're like one of the big main exhibit hall booths that like have carpeting and stuff like that. But we do command both sides of an aisle in the tabletop retail area, which I was kind of curious. We did that for the first time last year, that we decided to go with 2 10 by 50 spaces, and that's a big space, and it worked out well for us, which was nice, because whenever you make that sort of move, you do worry that it's not going to pay off, but it did, and that was awesome. I'm doing yellow underneath where the gold will be, because while I will want yellow under here, while I will want gold under here, metallics need a base coat. You need something under them, really. Wow, that yellow just soaked right into that brush, didn't it? But as I was saying, they're at the convention center right now, putting up like the shelves and the scaffolding and stuff, because we have like lights and signage and the like, and all of that stuff needs to go up, and we can't like stock the shelves until the shelves are actually up. There are a couple of other people that bring like other booths, and they bring their stuff on shelves like shrink wrapped, and with the amount of stuff that we bring, I can't imagine trying to do that. It would be a mess. We'd have to like stock the shelves here, and we bring too much product to do that. One of the guys last year was like, why can't we inventory beforehand? And I was like, that's not at the pace that we have to move, and not doing what we're doing. Okay. I'm not thrilled. I think I'm gonna end up using this for the bases. It's closer to what they ended up looking like after. That's what I used for the actual like robes, but this is gonna be closer to what they look like. Where did that water come from? It's closer to what the actual like togas look like after I've put a wash on them. I have mentioned before, yellow is my least favorite color to work with. I even prefer white to yellow. Yellow goes on streaky every time. I just hate yellow. It never goes on opaque. Like those, the red and the blue, I'm not doing a second coat on those, they're good. These will need a second coat. There's no way I can get away with just one coat on these. warmer yellow, though. The darker yellow is definitely the right choice. That lighter yellow just wouldn't have cut it. Definitely gonna need another coat though. I'm a little bummed that I'm not in helping right now, but I also know my own limits. And I know that, like, for one, Andy has to work today, so. Yeah, PAX prep is always chaos. I am a little bummed that I'm not there. One, because I like being helpful, and I actually like helping get the booth ready and everything, but I'll be there tomorrow. But I do know my own limits, and even if Andy didn't have to work today, like even if it was just going to be a short day, I know I couldn't do today and booth prep tomorrow and 4 days of PAX. It's 4 days in East this year. Prime has been 4 days for a while, or West now, I guess. They don't want to put one above the other. But yeah, we'll be there tomorrow. I mean, I'm not worried about like missing stuff. I just feel bad that I'm not there, but that's me being like, but I could be doing more. So I don't have the stream up on my computer. I have Discord up. I have like the Battleground Discord, which by the way, hey, we're on Discord. If you're watching this on Twitch, links to it is just down below the stream. And if you're watching this on YouTube, I think we have links to it nearby, probably down below the video. Anyway, I have Discord open because I was sharing pictures of these guys on Discord so that Steve could see them. And to just show them off, because I'm pretty pleased with how they came out. They were never going to be like those hyper-realistic. They were never going to look like a D&D mini, or they were never going to look like the Talisman figures or something. They weren't going to look like the Labyrinth figures. But I think they did come out well. So I wanted to show them off a little. I'm pretty pleased. Bit of gold. Go down and join the party tonight. Look out and we're gonna fight. Yeah. But having Discord up, it like the list of people who are on our server who are online right now keeps shifting, but I'm so used to the motion that I see like from the corner of my eye on my screen to be like chat, that I keep being like, is someone talking in my chat? I don't think anyone was watching. Since it's so early in the morning on a Tuesday. I mean, it's not early in the morning now, it's like 2 in the afternoon, but still, it's Tuesday. during the daytime. I think that looks pretty good. In the video description. Okay, cool. I figured we probably had links to the Discord and stuff on there, as well as on the VODs. So yeah, no matter where you're watching this, you could join our Discord. We have channels for like miniature gaming, board gaming, card games, looking for groups, stuff like that. General chat. Join us, won't you? That's much better with the second coat. Like it's not perfect, but what is? I am looking forward to build day tomorrow. It's always like exhausting and stressful, but weirdly fun. Like, there's something very satisfying about starting with empty shelves and then like pausing at the end or close to the end and looking at it and realizing you have like basically put a store together in a day. There's something incredibly satisfying. Hey Steve! Yes, back to Dark Crystal. I was just finishing up the bases for like the undersides of the bases. So instead of being like having all the paint smudges and stuff on them, they are like a nice clean flat color. I also love starting with full shelves and ending with empty shelves. There's just something very satisfying of walking in and having like everything in the middle of being built and turn that like empty space into a store and then turning that store into an empty store and then packing up the shelves and packing up like not even remotely near as much as what we came with. like just being able to leave piles of boxes because we don't need them, because we're leaving with so little. That is one of my favorite things about PAX, is selling out of stuff. It's learning a new game because the things that I already knew well enough to demo are gone. Though this year I am definitely, thanks to the stream and having like built-in game night, I am feeling a lot more confident about being able to demo a lot of things without having to like pause to learn them. You feel, yeah, I am feeling a lot more confident this year. What's your favorite, Steve? What's your favorite game that you're hoping to sell out of this year? What's the thing that you're like dying to tell people about and like get them to buy because you just, not because you want to get rid of it, but because you actually do like legitimately love it? I'm just gonna shift that a little bit. There we go. Better. Okay, I need to not have Discord up in front of me right now because that's going to drive me up the wall. I keep seeing it and thinking it's the chat. Ooh, hey. There we go. Better. Ethnos. Annoying. Didn't what? Travel with Derek to Barrelhouse C? Did I miss something? Oh, Andy said something and I missed it. Hey, Andy, just FYI, your laptop is attempting to close all your browsers. So I have a nice big window in front of the chat that I can't see. Okay. So I like can't see what you just said to Steve because I opened the chat on my computer after you said it. So, all right. We're gonna do a little bit of highlighting in Jen's hair because his hair isn't really that monochromatic. It's not just like flat blue and flat brown. So we're gonna do a little highlighting on him. And then we're going to work on the Skeksis. Let's see. Charterstone, I have not had a chance to play.
That is not demoable.
Yeah, it's not demoable, really, unfortunately. I'm excited about it and I want to play it, but it's not demoable. Century Spice Road is definitely, it's a good one. It's very visually appealing. It's fun. And yeah, the Century games, just, there's so much potential there. Which, we were talking about that yesterday, so. Yeah. Yeah, we can't find photosynthesis. We don't know what happened to it. It might be in Andy's car. I don't know if that one went to Barrelhouse C. Splendor, I wouldn't be surprised. There's cities of Splendor down there, but there's not the base game. There's not like, and the Cities of Splendor box is like super like beat up. So Splendor might be in like another bin or bag. Actually, you know what? There's a bin down there that I didn't open. I looked through the stack of games. Okay. We had like 3 or 4 demo copies of it at one point, so there may be a demo copy at one of the other stores. So we may, like, Chase needs to hit all 3 stores at some point in the near future to drop off badges. So let's see, what are we going to do with Jen's hair here? We're going to go in with a tiny bit. We're going to do some much lighter blues. We're going to do a snow shadow, I think. I am super klutzy. Fortunately, it was just brushes this time. What is up with me? Guaranteed one in Norton. Okay. Then we may tell Chase to just, like, grab photosynthesis and Splendor when he gets to Norton and bring that. Because, yeah, we realized, we were like, Century Spice Road is awesome, but it's a similar audience to Splendor, and Cities of Splendor is fairly new, so we wanted to talk that up. I don't know how many copies of that we brought with us. We were, knock on wood, we finished a lot of stuff earlier than usual this year. Things got packed up relatively quickly, so... Spice Road is definitely a better demo. But yeah, knock on wood for that. Yeah. Well, I'm saying packing up went fast, and the packing up portion of it is done. But that means I didn't see as much of what went into the boxes as I normally would, because a lot of the packing up portion of it happened when I wasn't here, because I was at work. So normally I help with the packing up stuff. I wasn't here for that. So I'm interested to see more. I know, like, what Chase has said we went deep in, but not all of that is stuff that is demoable. Some stuff just isn't. You just can't demo some things. Like, Andy and I were looking through some of the demo games that we have downstairs, and I was like, well, much as I loved Last Friday, I can't demo that. That's not a demoable game. Oh yeah, we don't have near and far. I did grab Ex Libris. Ex Libris is definitely in the we have Meeple Circus is in the demo pile. Actually, give me a second. I'll tell you what's in the demo pile because I can look it down. Or I could, like, tug at my mic cord. We have Potion Explosion, Meeple Circus, Lanterns, Muse, One Deck Dungeon, Topiary, Raise Your Goblets, Cash and Guns, Clank, Above and Below, Ex Libris, a bunch of Flux, like variations. What else did I grab? I definitely grabbed, what's it called? Now I'm blanking. Flip ships. There are things under Ex Libris that I can't see from here. But yeah. So we have a lot of things. Not everything that Azul is in there. So we have a demo copy of Azul. I'm bringing my copy of Fallout, and I assume other copies of Fallout are coming with us for demo purposes. I mean, that's not going to be... that's not going to need demoing for long. Andy ran demos of Above and Below when that came out and had a grand time doing it. So, Meeple Circus, I know we want to do until we sell out of it, which we do have a handful of copies of that. Oh, we have Chrononauts in there, because Chase told me he was bringing a bunch of Chrononauts. I'm going to be bringing my copy of the Harry Potter deck builder, which Chase told me he was going to bring some of that too, and I can definitely sell that until it's gone. And like I said, Fallout's not going to need demoing for very long. It'll be gone right quick. But until it's gone, we'll demo it, and then we'll sell any store demo copies of it. Whoop, little bloopy. Alright, so here's a question. I think I'm just going to go over the crystal shard in white and then do a gloss coat over it after I seal these guys. Which is annoying. I wanted to be able to get sort of the facets to it, but the mold of it just is not even remotely what it needs to be. It's like, it's just a round piece. It's like he's holding like a stick, not a crystal shard. If we think of anything, I need to go through the list of what Chase was buying deep in, and whatever he is buying deep in that is demoable, we probably want copies of. I mean, there are things that I'd love to play with people, but I know they aren't really demoable games. Would I love to sell people on Hot Shots? Of course I would. I don't know if we even brought any copies of it. I did quite like Ethnos. Oh, Spirit Island is in there. Not that I think that's going to last terribly long either. Whatever we brought of Spirit Island, I think it will be gone pretty quickly. Sawyer! Sawyer. In jokes. I'm definitely looking forward to like playing some of these games with people as demos. So for Topiary, not for PAX, but as a future thing for Topiary, I want to make little trees, happy trees, that are the right shapes to put out as you put your topiaries out. So when you like uncover them, you have like just a box full of the right trees, so that it has that visual appeal to it. We'll just put a nice gloss coat over that after we What am I going to build them out of? I don't know yet. It'll be my first time actually like building models as opposed to painting an existing set of models. So I need to look at what my options are. Maybe talk to some folks who are more into building things. Talk to like Paul Goffrin and Amy Frost. See if they have recommendations, because I know like they do more construction stuff than I do. I mean, I could just go for like modeling clay or like just flat out build them out of like Fimo, but I don't know, I want we'll see. What was I gonna do? I was gonna highlight his hair. But I think it would be really cool to just have like a more visual representation of the height of the trees. I think that would be neat. Yeah, and like obviously with the game as it is, you can't have the topiaries out because you have to uncover what's there, so you couldn't just have them. But if you had them in a box next to it as you like place the topiaries that you have out, you could have them, you could bring them out. That looks much better. All right. So here's Skek-ung. And here's Skek-sil. I think we'll work on Skek-sil first because that like white is bothering me. And it's not gonna stay that bright. Here's what he looks like. You see he's got that dirty, like he's got this shirt, this sort of frilly undershirt, and it actually just works right down into this dirty, grimy stuff because as I have said, Skeksis, not big on housekeeping. Yeah, those are nice and dry. Move these guys out of the way. I'm gonna varnish their bases, and then your dude's done. So here we have Skek-sil. He's got this red overrobe, and then he's got this burgundy here. It actually has little flecks of gold in it. And this rolled part here actually has some darker, has like black and gold striping to it. And then he's got all this back here, which I'm mostly just going to leave that color because it's actually kind of rag looking. It's very tattered looking. It's kind of gross. So we're going to leave that as is and probably put a wash on it. We'll highlight it. We'll do a little bit of highlighting for lighting effect, but for the most part, it's going to look the way it looks right now, color-wise. Whereas this slightly different shade of red around the edge is going to get some gold stippling to it. And we'll do this part. Bye, Steve. Thank you for hopping in. I'm glad you got to see your dudes all done. They will be here. I may send them, if I get them varnished and they're dry, I'll send them with Chase to Norton. So yeah, he's gonna thank you for letting me do them. They were fun. Later. I will see you at PAX. We're actually gonna play around with his shirt. Well, let's do some detail work on him. Obviously that like flat purple of his face is not gonna stay like that. You can see he's got a lot of personality in there, a beak. So let's play with him. I'm gonna try and do that striping on the rolled portion of his robe in the back. And I really want to dirty up that under robe. I'm trying to think of the best way to do it. It's gonna be like layers of washes, basically. And I want it to look dirty. I don't want it to just look darker. I want to look dirty. The best way for that would probably be like earth shade or something. But it's got a purplishness to it as well, so I want to make sure. I wonder if I mixed. I've got some, like a blue wash in here. I've got that nightshade. And I've got, actually the sepia is more brownish. It's more of a reddish brown, isn't it? Let's experiment. Yeah, that's more of a brown. No, it's just brownish blue. No, maybe if I do a brown and then like a blue over it. Let's try. We're actually going to do the brown over pretty much most of his shirt. He's not a neat guy. We're just going to go over it with a few more shades. We'll let that dry. We'll let that do its thing. I am going to go over it with a blue though, because there's definitely a purple cast. We'll just sit those there for now. So see how he has this sort of rolled border to his garment? This here. That is like alternating red, black, and gold. So that's gonna be a pain. So the gold stripes are really tiny. They're little. And you can sort of see them molded in. So I'm going to do the black first to make sure that I'm alternating correctly. Destiny. So Andy, I got a question for you if you're watching. I noticed in the refrigerator downstairs there are cans of ginger ale mixed with lemonade. I am torn between that sounding really good and sounding like the worst idea ever created. Because like ginger and citrus are good together. I just have no idea if that's at all. Like, I don't know, ginger and lemonade. That haunts their sleep. Like, have you tried it, and is it foul? He's opening the fridge now. I was mainly asking because I'm curious.
Well, I mean, now you can figure out and find out.
Shall we? Let's test these things together. It smells like lemony ginger ale. It's mostly ginger ale. It's got a sort of lemon soda flavor to it. I don't hate it. It's like, there's that lemon soda, that like grown-up soda, lemon soda. It's like if you took one of those and added it to a Canada Dry. I don't hate it. I will continue to drink that. Hopefully not mixed up with my paint water, but I also have my tea. All right. Like that, I like how that turned out. So we'll just keep doing that on the other side. Not with that brush though. Too big. Rest your feet, come and listen to the tales. Freeze your mind through the legends of the frost. It does look pretty dirty down there now. We're just gonna keep going with that. A lot of this, the texture isn't molded in, so I'm gonna want to stipple. It's got some like burgundy ties here that I'm gonna want to play with. I want to touch up some of that red. I think I used blood red for him, which is like perfect. Rid of some of this older paint. That's what I like about using this as a palette. But yeah, I'm gonna need to do some stippling just to get a little bit more, because the texture isn't entirely molded in, and I do want to get that feeling of texture in there. That red and black came out well though. shaking a lot more. So what's Cam doing? Arena. I have not started playing Magic Arena. It's not really my jam. Yeah. Oh man. Pacific Rim miniature game. Miniature being relative. What's in it? Like, what are we getting at that level? Shrikethorn and Gypsy Avenger. That's cool. Yeah. plus Saber Athena? I'm totally into that. And Head Hakuja. Okay. I mean, much as I love some of the other ones, like I desperately want Cherno Alpha, but I know that's not going to happen. You can probably get it as a separate expansion. Cool. Well, yeah, I'll definitely be getting that. Okay. So I want to do the stippling, the gold stippling on his back there. Yeah, I mean, that's cool. I do eventually want the, like, sure no. I do really love the idea. I've mentioned it before, but I really love the feeling of, like, dirty grandeur that the Skeksis have. That, like, everything they have is very, like, posh. But it's the sort of posh that, like, used to be a lot nicer, and they haven't taken care of it. And now, like, everything's just dirty and falling apart because they've fallen into disrepair. trick with this brush is it's so tiny that you can only put so much paint on it at any one time. And it doesn't stay wet for terribly long. Thank you. Ravenous rage, like the heart of your power. It's very catchy. Usually Seven Guard song. It's a really catchy song. Dang it. I think I'm going to put a wash on him. Start with sepia. And the world comes down. Actually, I want to do black on the rest of him. Oh, I left my own black at home. I just need some Nuln oil. Hey, and yes, it is a Skeksis. And Fizzgig is in Kira's arms. Kira's carrying Fizzgig. And this is a big difference between this game and the River Horse Labyrinth game. The Labyrinth game, the cards, the poses that the figures had on the cards were pretty much exactly the poses that they had in the figures, and that is not the case here. As you can see, Kira's arm wings are out, her hood is down, and she does not have Fizzgig in her arms, whereas in the figure, her hood is up, Fizzgig is in her arms, and her wings are folded and tucked. That's a huge difference in that. And yes, this is a Skeksis. This is Skeksil, the Chamberlain with the horrible whimper. And I'm just about to do a purple wash on his face. God, that looks so much better. Hey, Travis. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the official art. What I'm curious about, though, is that they, like, River Horse definitely used that official art. Like, they used the art from the cards in the Labyrinth game for the molds of the characters. And in this game, they did not do that. Jen is the same way. He's not wearing his full, like, cloak here. And he's not carrying the crystal shard. And he definitely has the crystal shard. He's got the full cloak in the back. And the Garthim Master, Skek-Ung. He's got his sword in hand there. And instead, he has his, the Emperor's, wand there. So yeah, it's weird because they did that with the Labyrinth game. That's the weird part. Yeah, sorry, Travis. You need to do 2 more bits to be the Bit King. Definitely that purple wash, though. Helped the Chamberlain's face there. But your face. There you go. Now you're the leader. Yeah, you can definitely see that deep purple in there. I'm going to add a little bit of purple down here in his... Like I said, I don't just want it looking ugly. I want it looking dirty. It's not just dark. It's all dirtied up. It's been dragged through the dirt and the grime in the palace for, like, generations. There's a lot of bass happening next door. I'm definitely going to be going back and highlighting over his armor. I just really want to pop the texture on it. I'll definitely be highlighting back up on some of this. But for now, he's gonna sit, because, yeah. We are going to attempt a Friday night stream. We will see how well we succeed. So just a quick look, guys. Oh no, Fireball Island Kickstarter is live? Oh no, something else to spend money on. Just so y'all can see, here is the picture for the Chamberlain. And here he is at the moment. Yeah, if our internet is strong enough, we will try and do Magic Maze, because we don't have to talk. Sorry, I'm looking like slightly off to the side whenever I respond to chat, because the chat is next to the camera. Is in good shape, I think. No, Derek is off in Boston building the booth. It is Andrew. Yeah, he's at the register downstairs, so that's terrifying. Travis. I'm going to have to visit their booth. Actually, I want to do a purple wash on him right away. While I've got the purple out, let's get his face. I have so much to do. Like, not this specifically, but like at home. He's more all over purple. Like, his beak isn't completely, but like he doesn't seem to have as much pinkishness. He does have a sort of yellow up above, and he has the yellowy beak, but otherwise his face is much much more like just purple as opposed to purple and pink. And Chamberlain's delicate. They kind of do. Alright, so I need to figure out how I'm going to deal with this beetle iridescence on his back. Thunder speaks, my friend. Do you have any advice on getting like an iridescent look to something? I mean, I remember. Do you remember? Could you say, oh man, I totally forgot I was swearing off Kickstarter? Hey Travis, guess what I packed up today into the demo games? I'll give you a hint, it's the only game that matters. Iridescent medium, thanks. I don't think I have any available to me in the store. Andy, we don't have any iridescent stuff downstairs, do we? I don't think we do. Flip ships. Yes, it is indeed flip ships. I totally forgot I had a Twix up here. This Twix is awfully brittle. It's breaking. I'm gonna flip all the ships. Yeah, but I won't do it now. I guess I can order some and do it after PAX. I mean, I got a good metallic base for it. I'm gonna do the gold edging of it. Yeah, nothing. How advanced are we talking, my friend? Like, what does it involve? Because I'm up for doing experimental weird stuff. Okay, you can't explain it over chat. All right. Then, you know what? I'll hold off on doing the rest of his, like, beetle shell until I can sit down and look at it with you. Because there's stuff I can do on the front for him without worrying too much about it. Because I need to do his little, like, belt here with the little face on the necklace. I based it. I need to actually go over it with metallics and stuff. And he's got this, like, his robe is, like, purple, but then it's got this, like, greenish webbing. Like, it's got gray webbing over it. And then it's got, like, this greenish stuff. Wet blending. I mean, I understand iridescent refraction of light, having spent a lot of time talking about bubbles with, like, science classes and stuff. I mean, I can definitely find a beetle back to work with. I do know it's not like one color is the problem. It's a whole bunch of colors, but it's not like it's blue and green and red all in one place. Yeah, so I did something very similar, but on a very small scale, over the globe that Jareth is holding in the Labyrinth game, because the globe that he's holding is supposed to be a bubble. It's supposed to be like iridescent. And I did a silver as the base color, and then I basically did wet swipes of silver mixed with a green, a yellow, and a red, and a tiny bit of blue, and sort of swiped over each other, but it was just the barest hint of color in with the silver. And that worked out well, but it was on the small scale. I mean, it's like yay big. So it's very, very small. So I didn't need to worry about like messing it up too much. Yeah. Okay. So, but on a bigger scale, especially when I have multiple plates, I want to be doing it in the same basic order, as it were. Because if I'm looking at it as if like the light is hitting it all from basically the same source, I want it to all look like, if you have two bubbles sitting side by side, you want them to look like they're being hit from the same light source. So I've got to play with that, because this is supposed to be a Garthim carapace that he's wearing, or multiple Garthim carapaces that he's wearing over himself as armor and part of his robe. So, okay. But I already started stippling the green in there. The sort of webby stuff isn't really molded onto him. It sort of is like here and here. Like these bits are definitely it. But there's not as much of it visible here. I guess this is a rope of it here, and this is a rope of it. And that's sort of a dark gray. It has a cool, like, I like the shimmer it has right now. The metallic that I have right now is a mix of copper, metallic green, metallic red, and metallic purple. And it's got this sort of dark metallic chocolate almost, which is cool, but doesn't have quite the like the beetle back look that the Garthim have. I mean, I'm happy with how it looks at the moment, but I definitely want to do a little bit more. Like, I want it to look cooler. All right, let's try getting some gray over this. I'm going to start with a darker gray and build up, because it definitely has highlights to it, and I don't want to depend on the wash bringing those out. Okay. I appreciate it. It's not something that I'm going to need that frequently. I don't do that many insectoid things. I was actually mentioning to Andy the last time we watched Dark Crystal. I was mentioning to Andy that it feels like a lot of the stuff in the Dark Crystal is insect in nature. Things have 6 legs. The Skeksis and the Mystics have 6 legs. They have 6 limbs. There's a very insectoid feeling to a lot of the creatures in the Dark Crystal, which I think is really interesting. It's not something that I would have, like, I don't know. We're actually going to start with like a mid-gray, and I can work up on one end and down on the other. Yeah, I think that'll be, yeah, okay, that's fine. Because I am going to be putting a wash over it. Because this definitely is going to get a black wash. This is going to get null and oil. It's just too dirty otherwise. Alrighty. Alright, buddy. His robe under here is definitely just a very dark purple. this is gold, but it's more of an antiqued gold, and the edging on his things is like a more yellowy gold. And then he's got this, the robe like that he has that you can see there's like a texture to it on there. I've already stippled a little green onto it because he does have this weird, it's like he has mold growing on him, which is disgusting. But yeah, I figured I would play with some stippling on that. So let's start putting some gray. Use my little brush. It's about to be best on this path of pursuit. We'll see this burden through. That's maybe too light a gray to start with. I'll bring it down, so. I should have started with a darker gray. I'm going to move to a darker gray. Oh. It's this gray webbing here and here that's over his like shoulders. I feel like maybe I need to start with slightly darker and bring it up highlighting. I don't like how that's looking. I'm not thrilled with it. It feels a little too light. The stippling, because if you look at his actual sleeves, it's got this green brocadey sort of look to it. And it's irregular looking. It looks moldy. It looks like he has slime mold growing on him. And it's only vaguely textured in. It's not really textured in. The texture is more like just carved out texture. It's not raised. It really does. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, he just has slime mold growing on his robe. He's just invited a slime mold to grow on him. So I wanted to add that green on there. I mean, I can go back over with purple, but it does need to have some of that green. And I don't want, the green should be the raised part, and the purple should be, yeah, they don't know. No, they don't. I actually have a picture of Skekung, like a very nice high-res, large picture of him on my computer. And it's actually, like, if you actually look at the model, it's, yeah, he washed his robe in, like, slime mold medium. Or, yeah, not known for cleanliness. They're not clean creatures. They're not creatures that enjoy laundry or housekeeping. And maybe he likes slime mold. I don't know. But it definitely, if it was random, I'd be like, yeah, he's just dirty. He's just slimy. But then you look at it, and the edging on the robe is the slime mold. And it looks slimy. It looks like slime. But it's so small and so fine that I don't want to just like try and drape like slimy stuff. Like I don't want to add to the model because there's not that much space for it. It's basically only his like sleeves kind of. Yeah. No one enjoys laundry, but you like having clean clothes after. So anyway, I'm not thrilled with this gray sort of, with the gray that I picked. I think I'm gonna, actually, now that it's drying, it's not too bad. I'll stick with it. I'll stick with it. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, looking at the actual, like, model, like the actual thing from the movie is unhelpful for a couple of reasons. One, a lot of the pictures out there are not high enough resolution. They're just not detailed enough to, like, be like, oh yeah, that's what it's supposed to look like. Two, a lot of them don't show, like, the back or the sides. They only show him, like, from the front. So you're not getting some of the detail. When Andy and I went to see The Dark Crystal in the theater, when we went to see it when it was re-released a little ways back, about a month ago, maybe a month and a half, 2 months ago. Actually, a month and a half ago. Yeah, the results of Laundry are very nice, but the Skeksis don't seem to care. When we went to see it, I knew I was going to be painting these guys, so I actually paid very close attention to what they were wearing and what they looked like and what I was going to have to sort of be painting. And he's actually, like, if you look at the actual puppet and you look at what he's wearing, hey Malcolm, if you look at what he's wearing, he's actually wearing, like, this impressive, this really incredible brocade. And I've said before, one of the things that I really love about the Dark Crystal and the Skeksis as a fictional sort of race is that they very much embody this sort of feeling of decay, this feeling of decadence, and the root of decadence and decay sharing a root word. I love that. I love that it feels like they've got all this, like, really, really plush, really, really expensive, I mean, not that there's much of an economy in that world, but, like, this is stuff that you can't just, like, go get. This is fancy, fancy stuff. They've got gold, they've got jewels, they've got these really beautiful clothes, and they're in total disrepair. They're ripped, they're torn, they're dirty, they're not taken care of. So they're this, you know, ruling class, but they're a ruling class that has allowed themselves to fall into such disrepair that they're so ugly that all these beautiful things are disgusting. So they're definitely, they're dark purple-ish. If you look up the Garthim, they're just like burgundy. Like, if you look up the actual, like, Garthim from the movie, they're like this purple-tinged black beetle shells. So I wanted a dark metallic to start with, and then I thought I could, like, go from there. So that's sort of what I've been operating under. Yeah. And like I said, the card definitely shows them as purple. But knowing that they're the Garthim, I want to be able to have that, like, beetle feel to them. Yeah, multiple coats of the purple wash would definitely look tinted purple over it. That could work. That could definitely work. And then I'd do the gold after that. The more I look at this gray, the more I like the shade of it. Yeah, they're like a really dark purple. I'll use a lot of purple wash then. That bottle is not the fullest bottle in the world, but it should definitely get me through this. But like he's wearing, so in the actual like model, like in the actual Muppet, he is wearing just this beautiful, beautiful brocade, and it looks horrible. Like you can tell it was supposed to once be this absolutely gorgeous brocade. It was this beautiful fabric. And it is just tattered and disgusting now. Yeah. Well, that's what I was saying, like decay and decadence share a root word. So this is where me being an English major comes in. I took a class in Victorian material culture because Victorians liked stuff. And they liked stuff to the detriment of the actual quality of that stuff a lot of the time. They collected things, and things just got too much. Yeah, decadence and decay share a root word, and underneath this like beautiful veneer, it's rotten. Yeah, definitely like an abandoned plantation house where like the humidity of the deep south has like just let everything rot inside. And you look at it outside and you're like, oh, it's pretty. And then you think, well, one, it's built on slavery, so it's rotten to begin with. But two, yeah, just everything inside is decaying. The wood is just falling apart. You know, the exterior may still be standing, but you'll look even any closer than a cursory glance, and it's just rotten underneath. That is definitely the feel. Only for the Skeksis, it's even more so, because like they're not even trying to keep up appearances necessarily. For them, it's more, do I have the creature comforts that I want? Do I? Fantastic. Done. Do I get my roast nibbery? No. Everything's ruined. But I get my roast nibbery? Awesome. Fantastic. My favorite. Yeah, you can tell just things are things that were once like just beautiful quality things are just garbage now, and they're still clinging to them. Yeah. It's one of my favorite things about looking at the detail of the Skeksis and the palace and like the Crystal Palace. and their dining room, like you look at each of the Skeksis characters, and they're all like, I think, did I read somewhere that they were supposed to be like the 7 deadly sins or something like that? Like they're supposed to each represent a sin or something. Maybe I'm making that up. That could be complete baloney on my part, but I like the idea that they're like each excessive in some way. Like there's the gourmet who's, you know, eating things. He's like delicious and doesn't really care like where his food is coming from. He's just delighting in it. See, this side doesn't really have as much of this stuff showing. Like, you can sort of see where it is, but it's not molded in quite as much. I'm just going to do that gray like all through his back because he does sort of have stuff. Crud. You're great. You're right. That's definitely the better term. He has crud. And it's not even con crud, it's just crud. I just loved being able to look in the movie and see the detail. Seeing like a high definition, like a high resolution version of this was absolutely enthralling. I like how that's looking. Stuff. Now it just sounds like Sean Connery is saying it. I think that's looking pretty good. I do have Agrax Earthshade. No, that's the sepia. Yes, I do. More stuff and stuff. Stuff. Mute the white bits with Agrax. The thing is, they're gray. So I was actually thinking of using Nuln Oil on them. And then highlighting up. Because the Agrax, I feel like it's a very, well, I mean, it's definitely a more blackish brown. Yeah, they are dingy gray. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely washing them. That's 100%. Washes are my friends. And then I was going to highlight a little bit to sort of make some of the bits pop a little bit more. Nuln Oil is very stark. I thin it sometimes so that it pools in the right places, but doesn't make things like black. Yeah, I could go either way, honestly. I'm gonna try the gold on his belt and see how that goes. It's a very yellow gold on his, the edging of his carapaces. So I think I'm going to go with a yellow gold on that. We'll go with a very yellowy gold. And then, I can always dirty it up after the fact. I'd rather like have it be nice and yellowy because it's this like ugly greenish gold. It's really gross. As per the Skeksis. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks... Yeah, I'll just dip it in a mud puddle. What I actually should do is put some, like, food on it and then introduce a slime mold. It'll be perfect. Yeah, it'll be perfect. It'll look just right, and then I'll varnish it. It'll be fantastic. Just varnish over the mold. I'm sure that won't come back to bite me at all. Varnishing over mold just sounds... That's right up my alley, right? That's 100% what I will be doing. All right, so that gold on the belt definitely worked. And there's a slightly brighter gold. Varnish plus mold equals moldy varnish is what that equals. Cracked varnish. And we're gonna do his necklace in this slightly brighter gold. Not the best molded necklace I've ever seen. For the most part, these are like pretty nice molds. Not slime molds, but like the actual molds for the figures. They're pretty good, but for whatever reason, this necklace is just pants. Emboldened mold. Emboldened mold is definitely... That's definitely a D&D monster. We'll tell Derek. Like, hey D, we have a new monster for you to introduce to your next campaign. Emboldened mold. He'd love that. He would eat that right up. Not literally. That would be disgusting. Where is the metallic green? There it is. It's like mold that's got too big for its britches. It's been emboldened. I mean, I don't know if mold wears britches. I follow the path along, avoided this time. That's looking a lot better. I like how he's looking. Let's try putting some gold detailing, some of that yellow gold. Actually, should I do... Should I do a purple wash over the carapaces first? can have bard levels. I think maybe we'll do this first. Because otherwise I'm going over the gold, and the gold, it should be a nice bright metallic. Ugh. Little too much. Definitely makes the texture of the things pop. See, that Agrax Earthshade, it made it a little too brown. I think I'm gonna water down I'm gonna thin out some Nuln Oil and see how that looks. Because the Earthshade it made it a little browner than it actually should be. It should be gray. Almost got a greenish cast to it, because apparently everything he wears has a greenish cast to it. He definitely, the Chamberlain, is all like reds and browns. This guy is purple and green. Like, his color scheme is entirely purple and green. I am liking this purple wash. It's real nice. I thought Derek had a purple wash in here. And I was right. I am going to do some gold detailing on this back part, largely because I think Skek-Ung here is the sort of dude who would totally be just like embellishing things with gold. He is the sort of guy who would be like, put more gold on! Want it to shine! He's that sort of jerk. Purple wash all over myself. I feel like it needs, like, I think after I varnish it, I'll definitely be going back over it with something shiny. I may do like a shiny varnish over it. Actually, I don't think I need to do much more of the green stippling there. I left my pot of Nuln Oil at home. Like, I feel bad using Derek's. Because God, do I use it. But I left it at home. It's in with my Fallout figures. Because I needed it for a couple of them. And I left them at home because they were taking up a lot of space in my bag. I forgot to bring them with me. Oops. Oopsies. There we go. We put the way back over there. A little too thin, maybe. Oh, we can use it to fill in here. Yeah. I just don't love how the earth shade ended up looking. Maybe earth shade with Nuln Oil, like thinned Nuln Oil over it, and then highlight it up. Yeah, I think that's definitely the... I just need to use regular Nuln Oil. Otherwise, it's a little too brown. And I'm not using white. It may look white on camera, but it's a gray. And the purple that it's against is dark enough that the Nuln Oil doesn't actually, like, darken it down so much that it's like really bad. You know what? They're a purpley brown right now. I think I'm just going to leave them as is. They're definitely a purpley brown. And that's what they should be. Let's look at this yellow gold I have. And the world comes tumbling down. God, he's got this green stuff on the it's definite. He's covered in slime mold. He is covered in slime mold, and it makes me... That's disgusting. You are filthy. Filthy. I am pretty happy with how the Chamberlain came out. If you guys want to see the Chamberlain, I'm pretty happy with how he's looking. Now, why did that do that? That's interesting. I'm gonna have to go over him with some Null Oil again. Actually, some black liner might be good. Did something weird. So that's how he's looking right now. In camera. I'm going to be doing some highlighting on his little carapace thing on his back. And on his face. think I do want to do just yellow gold on him though. And then I'm going to do a few little touches of green here and there on him. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Okay, this gold is probably the most troublesome bottle in here. It is so irritating. Every time I open it, it's plugged. And that is why I carry a safety pin with me. Serena is here, so I probably will be finishing up in gold mold. You know, Travis, I like you. I like you a lot. Actually, I have a pun that I was really proud of the other day. We were talking about, God, that didn't undo that? Wow, I really thought that had done that. We were talking about how Andy had seen, maybe it was my dad, someone had seen a woman walking her dog, and the dog had basically just, the dog was done with the walk. The walk was over. No, they are not bannable offenses. But yeah, the dog was done with the walk. The dog was just like, had sat down and was going to take a nap. And I mentioned that the dog had barcolepsy. Wow, okay. New strategy. Actually, undo. Wow, it is like stopped up tight. That's fine. That's fine. It's fine. Everything's fine. The bottle's just, the really yellowy golds. Come on, barcolepsy, that's funny. The really yellow gold, Andy, that bottle just hates me. It is always, every time I open it, it's stopped up. And I unstop it, and then it's stopped up again the next time I go to use it. I thought it was funny. I was quite pleased with it. Okay. Andy's going to the post office. When he gets back from the post office, we will finish up. I told you it was going to rain. Barcolepsy. I was really proud of it. I was really pleased with myself for that one. So when I was in college, my freshman year roommate was very quick with puns. Not good necessarily, they were very bad puns, but very quick with puns. And we very quickly realized that any given situation was a an opportunity for puns. So we made what we called the pun bag. And anyone who made an especially egregiously bad pun had to wear the pun bag over their head until, such time as everyone around was in a forgiving mood. We know that you'll appreciate them. Like, this man is a punster. He will appreciate the pun that I made some other time. My dad is also very good at puns. My dad is very good at puns. He is very quick. See, I'm not even dignifying that. God, I gotta go home. I gotta clean my apartment. Take me to the crush. This really does, the gold really makes it pop. Please do use Barcolepsy tonight. can't believe tomorrow's PAX. Oh my god. There we go. Open that yellow gold again. Yep. I need to do my nails tonight. for PAX. Keep meaning to do them and not getting around to it. There it is. This should be bronze head to it. Bronze has like a greenish cast to it, so I'm gonna use this older gold, and then I'm gonna like put a little green on it. Old gold mixed with mold. Basically, yes. Can't argue with that because it's basically what we're saying here. The thing is, when you look at like the actual, like this isn't in with the actual like official website's Skeksis artifacts. I'm pretty happy with how this is looking right now. And Andy is back from the post office. So I think it is about time for me to wrap up the stream. I'm going to start putting my brushes away before he gets up here. They're downstairs talking about PAX. But yeah, we're so close to PAX.
Hey, Amanda.
Hey, Andy. I was just saying I can hear you downstairs, so it's probably about time to shut down the stream. Travis, we will miss you.
Yeah.
I will play flip ships in your honor.
Yeah.
And we'll be trying to stream at some point. We will do
There's anybody to raid.
our best to do that. We will do our best to be on and stream something.
None of the painters that I follow are currently online.
That
Nobody to
happens.
read. All right. Well, if you
Oh
want to
well.
say-
Yeah, let me just put this paint back. Excellent. So yeah. Yeah, we do. We'll miss having you on the stream, but
Yeah.
we will be glad to have you in chat.
Yeah.
So, you know, have a wonderful weekend, Travis, if I don't get to talk to you, and we will see you again in the chat after PAX. Bye.